there's this there's this benefit of the doubt that we give that as progressives, we tend to not want to just say some people are dumb as hell. And we tend to not try to think that people are by default malicious. We try to see the better of people. We try to see the better of a particular situation. After this election, now I just, and looking at people who really literally shot themselves in the foot with their Affordable Care Act, I'm really and now looking at the Democratic Party, I'm really at the point where people are just dumb as fuck. And we need to accept that and treat them as such and move on.
Don't say that, Ben. This is your show, and you have to be professional, and you're a progressive leader. I am none of those things. The Democrats are dumber than a bag of hammers. And at a certain point,
no, I mean, but not just the Democrats, right? Like America in general, right? So the people who are now realizing that they're going to have to pay $11,000 more a year for their health care because they've elected Donald Trump. They're included in that a bag of dumb as bricks, dumb as rocks.
I am reluctant to blame those people, and the reason why is because I think that our media and our, the people who are at the control or who are in control of disseminating information responsibly are so bad at it that it becomes hard for me to blame people for not knowing things sometimes.
There you go. But there you go. You're doing bias that I'm talking about. You have this bias of sympathy, of lower expectations of other people. No, they knew exactly what they were getting themselves to with Donald Trump.
I do have lower expectations of your rank and file voter than I do of people who are in charge, who have larger platforms.
No, but what you've done is you've given them the benefit of the doubt, and I'm like they're dumb as bricks too. And I have to, when someone tells you we're going to repeal, when you don't know that Obamacare was the Affordable Care Act. That is not, and you are actually on it. Like, I'm not talking about people who are not a part of Obamacare. I'm talking about people who are actually getting benefits from Obamacare, and they didn't know that Obamacare was the Affordable Care Act. They're dumb as rocks. They're dumb as rocks. All right, let's move on. Let's move on.
One last thing, personal story. Like for my my undergraduate thesis experiment, I actually confronted that exact thing. This was back in 2012, 2013. I surveyed like 200 kids, 200 college students at my liberal arts college about basically like, a lot of questions. Just like a lot of civics questions, also policy questions. And one of the questions was, hey, do you know what the ACA is? Do you know what the Affordable Care Act is? And most people were like, no. But occasionally I got people, because it was a 2-part question. Like, do you know what it is? Can you name 2 provisions of it? And a lot of people were just like, I have no idea. A lot of people were like, I can stay on my parents' health insurance. I'm 26, and a lot of people were just like, it's Obamacare. It's Obamacare, and here. Like, but the vast majority of people were not able to make that connection, and I do think that is.
But check this out, though, Brandon. But no, check this out. If you are passionate about pulling something down, you're passionate about ending it. 2,000 pages, not even a summary of all the major takeaways. You got to at least know the name of the damn bill. So I have no sympathy whatsoever. But I didn't even know the name of the bill.
Dynamic, right? Though, so like, and this is where, and we've seen there's a lot of backlash to Paul Ryan's new bill from those on the right, from Breitbart, from a lot of people on the right, and I think that I don't think they didn't realize that this existed either. And so, functionally, the Republican base, those who were against the ACA or against Obamacare, more specifically, were charging their representatives with repealing. No. But basically, they were charging their representatives with repealing a bill that did not exist, and so the right in the country have been forced to try to come up with a new bill.
In some, I have no problem saying we're maybe.
Ben, your signal started to get a little choppy.
All right. Am I good now?
Well, I guess my larger point was that, the Republicans, if they were just serious about getting a win but not killing people, could have just signed some executive order that did nothing that said Obamacare is repealed, because Obamacare is not a real thing. It's just a name for the ACA. And the Republican base, as we've seen, has no idea that the ACA is Obamacare. And so they charge their representatives with with repealing something that literally did not exist, and which put Republicans in a weird position because they had to come up with a right-wing alternative to a right-wing bill. So they had to go even further to the right. And basically their new healthcare bill is, well, everyone's got to die someday, right? Whatever.